Hello, everyone. This is Armstrong Williams on the right side. Armstrong. Don't curse, speak English. Armstrong. Virtuous society. Armstrong. I dare you to listen. Hey, turn it up. Hey. Armstrong. Get on the right side. Armstrong. Elevate your mind. Armstrong. I'm Armstrong Williams on the right side. Armstrong. Yo, man, it's your boy K.O. And you're tuned into the most conservative of our brothers. Armstrong. The Armstrong Williams Show. Please give me a break. Grow up. Oh, we're here. Listen, oh my goodness, my heart goes out to the people in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and the Big Apple, and all along the East Coast. We were really fortunate in Washington, D.C. Really were. It was just tough watching the number of homes that were destroyed by water and fire, and yet, by the grace of God, there goes us. You can imagine people are still without power, electricity, and it's just people at their wits' end. Governor Christie announced to Atlantic City, New Jersey, that they were on their own. Wow, that had to be tough. But it's best to be honest with people so they know they can't just sit around waiting on someone. Whatever happens, they've got to rescue and take care of themselves and their communities. It's tough, man. It's tough. Never had anything like this before. But it happens, man. It happens. And the real issue is how we deal with it and embrace it. Oh, yeah. Sunday I flew in from Nashville, Tennessee, and we were getting some ripples from it. And then Monday, I could see why they probably wanted to shut the government down. But Tuesday, it was just perfect. It really was. It barely rained on Tuesday. But, look, we were not on the air Monday and Tuesday. We wanted to be here. But, hey, it's best to be cautious. Staff really didn't want to work, so I just said I'd leave it alone. But my heart was with you guys. My heart was with you. I just want you to know. Rick Smith, are you there?
Sure.
Rick Smith.
Armstrong Williams.
What's going on, Big Rick?
Lots of stuff going on.
Oh, man, we have been trying to get you on the air for a bunch of Sundays, man.
Well, tonight is the night. Now's the time because it's Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Are you dressing as yourself?
I'm taking out I'm escorting a dragon tonight.
Oh, are you breathing fire to protect that little dragon?
Oh, I am. I'm certified.
Yes, you are, my friend. You know, it is Halloween, isn't it? I shouldn't say this because Anthony's going to be so upset. This show's going to be so dated. But that is what it is. It is what it is. Let's talk a little politics. You own and founded News USA. I just don't know how to get a read on the race, Big Rick.
Well, I've been thinking about that, and it really is coming down to this.
And what is that?
Who's going to go out? And you got to ask yourself, you almost want to say a pox on both your houses with the way this campaign has been running. And you're almost tempted to say, you know what? Why would I go out, stand in line, and go through all that if my vote will or won't make a big difference?
Because it doesn't matter. It's the right to vote and the sacrifices that were made for it.
This is true. The question every person is going to ask themselves is a personal question. Are they going to take the time to put in the effort to stand in those lines to vote in a jurisdiction where their vote may or may not make a difference because the pollsters have analyzed it to such degrees that you go, if I'm in a blue state or a red state that's definitely one way or another, how important is my vote?
How important is that vote? Can that vote make a difference, Rick Smith?
That's the question.
Absolutely, yes. Every vote counts. I mean, we've seen elections where people won by 1 or 2 votes, sometimes 1 vote. So you know it makes a difference.
Well, I think where it becomes important is as we go down ticket and we start looking at issues that people care about, even on a local or personal basis, and not just the national ticket that may have really been decided in where you're voting in a way before you even get to the polls. But it's important for people to look at all those other issues that are on the ticket. How many times do people show up and go, my God, I don't even know anything about any of these issues or matters. I haven't educated myself.
What are the issues, Rick Smith, in the final few days of this election? Turnout.
And motivation. Each side has to motivate their base to such a point where, of course, the diehards on each side, the ones that are actually going, knocking door to door, they're going to come out no matter what. But it's the ones that are less and less involved in the campaign. They don't put a sign on their lawn. They don't do anything per se. And that busy day next week when they have to decide whether or not they're going to go and basically kill the time that they have to kill, to wait in the line that they have to wait in, they've got to have a pretty strong motivation. And that's what it's going to come down to. And it's like, how do you get that person motivated? What's in it for them?
What is in it for them, and what is at stake, Rick Smith?
That's a question.
I want an answer.
Each person has to answer it on their own.
You're telling me the answer is not the same for most people? Jobs.
If you have a job, you may not be as motivated as someone who doesn't have a job.
So what motivates people to vote? Personalities? Change?
People vote on different issues. You'll have people that will vote for a party they wouldn't normally support because they have a single issue that is so important to them, they will march to the polls, stand in line, and push whatever they need to push on that one issue.
Let me ask you, what are the president's strengths going into the last few days of this election?
Been around, people know what they're getting. Whether they like it or not, they know what they're getting. Now, for those who have analyzed it enough, they go, whoa, I don't want any more of that. It hasn't been working. But there's other people that will argue and say, I don't know what the other side's going to give me. And it's kind of like some people will say I'm comfortable with the devil that I know, even though I dislike a lot of what they do, and it kind of works right against me. On the flip side, there are people who go, this is so bad, anything's better. Let's change. It's like when we had George Bush in, people said we need to change, so we moved to Obama. Now the chance is another opportunity to change. Because if the entrenched are all entrenched and doing their thing, a lot of times we always seem to be better off. Not always. Most of the time we seem to be better off by changing the incumbents than not.
That's a thought. And what do you mean by better off?
Well, now you've got a whole new better off means you've got chances of shaking things up. You're not going to shake things up with whoever the incumbent is. Bringing in fresh people and fresh ideas tend to be a good way to go.
Why do people vote an incumbent out of office versus why do they decide to keep them?
Makes a lot to vote an incumbent out of office. The incumbent has access to so much lobbying money and resources, and they have, I don't know if they still have the government franking privileges to mail stuff, but they have abilities and tools and resources and entrenched people who have a vested interest, financially and otherwise, of keeping them in office. That is a pretty big hurdle to overcome, which is how you have so little change in Congress or in the Senate.
What is it that Romney can do to convince voters that it can turn things around?
I think he's done everything that he needs to do.
Really?
The real issue. Yeah, the real issue is, at this point, you're talking less than a week. It's time to get out your base.
It's time to get out the base.
It's time to get out the people, not just the diehards on either side. It's the people who are still, and they're not undecided. They're just not as motivated to get out. There's a lot of people who don't vote.
But why don't they vote? Is it because they're not in a metropolis like we are and exposed to round-the-clock news? It's just that they just don't care. Rick Smith is our guest. We're coming back. Don't go away.
For more information on the Armstrong-Williams Show, please visit our new website at www.rightsidewire.com. There you can find his syndicated column archive, view live streams, and get your favorite conservative pundits' views on the current issues affecting the American people. From building wealth to foreign policy, stay connected with Armstrong-Williams and his colleagues at the all-new www.rightsidewire.com.
High Point University has experienced unprecedented growth during the worst economic disruption in decades. This growth is driven by a university that focuses on holistic education, on experiential learning, and on values-based living. At High Point University, every student receives an extraordinary education in an inspiring environment with caring people. See what makes High Point University extraordinary at highpoint.edu.
Anderson Brothers Bank, a family-owned and operated establishment that blends traditional personal service, local market awareness, and advanced technology to meet the financial needs of its customers. Visit abbank.com or call 843-464-6271 to see how they can assist you with your banking needs. Anderson Brothers Bank, celebrating 75 years of community banking, the way it should be. Stability right in your backyard since 1933. Join the millions of Americans who pursue one of our country's finest traditions, from hunting to sports shooting. Since 1871, the NRA has grown as a service organization involved in all aspects of shooting sports and is a proud defender of the Bill of Rights. Join today to begin taking advantage of exclusive membership offers and discounts, including up to $25,000 in insurance coverage. Contact the NRA today. Call 1-800-672-3888 or visit nra.org.
Life is full of unexpected changes. Everyone has potential to do wrong. And when they choose to do it, contact the Bucksell Group for your private investigation needs. TheBucksellGroup.com or by phone at 202-243-9746. Whether there's an instance of a cheating spouse, child custody, process service, or security, don't continue suspecting. Get closure so that you can move on with your life. Visit TheBucksellGroup.com now or call 202-243-9746. If you think it's happening, it probably is.
Where heads of state, sports, entertainment, and political celebrities meet. You're listening to Armstrong-Williams.
And welcome back to the Armstrong-Williams Show. Jan Morgan, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Armstrong. How are you?
It's just fine. You're on with Rick Smith. What is it going to take for either candidate to win this election in the final stages?
Well, primarily, I think it's going to take educated voters for Romney to win because I spoke with Armstrong. I think this is the most interesting thing. I've met a lot of folks recently who are very educated, very busy people, and most of them independents. And the things that I'm hearing from them are, I'm not really sure who I'm going to vote for, Romney or Obama. And these are people whose values I know are very conservative values, but they're so busy going about daily life and just taking care of everyday needs that they just are out of touch with what's happening. And they're if they depend entirely on what they saw in the debates, that's a little bit scary, especially if they just watched the last one. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that these folks, these independents, because I think they're the ones who are going to make it or break it for Mitt Romney. And I'm just hoping and praying that those folks have taken the time to do some homework before they go vote. I believe that people will get out and vote. I think that this is probably the most polarized our country has ever been, and on both sides. And so I think it's just going to be a matter of who's got the most folks on their side.
Let me see if let me talk to Rick. Rick, you actually think that the independents are really undecided?
Oh no, I did not say people were undecided. I said, as this wonderful woman was also pointing out, it's going to take, there are people who have busy things going in their lives. Politics is not a big issue for them. And they've got to decide, is it worth leaving work early or whatever they need to do to basically take time out of their day, wait in line at a polling booth. I mean, let's face it. If you're in New York or California, why would you do that to vote in the election? You know your vote is already pre-decided.
What do you mean pre-decided?
Look, they've analyzed it down so deeply that unless you're in a swing state, it's going to be hard to get people, even if they've decided one candidate or the other. They think to themselves, it's already a fait accompli. It's already decided. Why should I get off my butt and go to all that trouble when it isn't going to change the outcome?
Jen, you agree?
I'm afraid that he may be right. A lot of folks are disenchanted with the Electoral College and the whole election process. And I think there may be something to what he's saying, that there are a lot of folks who say, well, everybody keeps saying, the mainstream media is saying, well, it's all going to come down to Ohio and a few swing states, so I'm not in one of those states, so why, interrupt my work day, lose some time from work, or that may be a factor. I hope not, but it could very well be.
Alan, we have a call on the line. Your thoughts about the upcoming election?
Yes. How are you guys doing today?
Just fine.
Good. Well, my thoughts, during the Bush years, his second term, there were 2 points that I was concerned with. One was during the wartime when we were convinced of being kind of in danger. And that was a point for me, and I didn't want change at that point. I just want to keep the person that's in there to try to go ahead on and let that person handle what was going on. And the companies, the corporations needed money or wanted money to keep the jobs here and open that avenue. So I brought into that. The jobs eventually was outsourced. So, I kind of took a bite there. And the war ended up the way it did. So, the end result I didn't like, but I just thought that it was the best thing to do at the time, and I think now is the same thing. We have some turmoil going on, and I think I just want the consistency right now of what I know. Let the next 4 years go, and after that, hey, if we have to move on and go another direction, we do that. But just like the last time, I don't want to change courses right now because it's just too turbulent.
Rick, is there a reason to change course?
Of course there's a reason, of course, and we should change course.
And tell us why.
Oh, the policies that the current president and the Democratic parties have put in place work so much against free enterprise and opportunity. I'll give you an example. President Obama said that he made 18 tax cuts for small business. Anyone who runs a small business, I challenge them to identify any of those 18 tax cuts that supposedly affected them. Didn't happen. The only thing I can even come close to is they said, well, if you hire veterans to come back, we'll give you but then you've got to come up with all the salary, and you have to keep them for a certain extended duration of time. It's not. They're hollow promises.
Excuse me, can I jump in here, Armstrong?
Sure.
Related to what he's saying, when you're talking about small business and that being an issue, I think it very well could be, and especially if people watch the documentary that we're releasing today. Anybody who owns a small business is aware that there's been a 32% increase in audits from the Tax Division of the Justice Department and the Criminal Investigation Division of the Internal Revenue Service. And these audits have led to Gestapo-style paramilitary raids. Business people around the country, and not only the business people who are being investigated for white-collar crimes have been affected by this, but the employees of these businesses who are not even accused of a crime. And this is happening. You've seen it on a national level with Gibson Guitar, but I'm telling you that since Gibson Guitar, this has been happening in small businesses around the country. And the documentary that we're releasing today at 5 o'clock Central Time is going to show the people of this country what's happening and how our constitutional rights are being violated and trampled by the Justice Department and the Internal Revenue Service and Criminal Investigation Division. And I think if people see this, if they haven't made up their minds, this could be the deciding factor, and I certainly hope so.
Alan, go ahead, Rick.
I definitely want to see that.
Yes, we are releasing it today at 5 o'clock. It's already on my website, the promo video for it. It's also on Armstrong Williams' Facebook page. We've done a 6-minute promo, but it is a 20-minute documentary. And what we have done is...
What's the URL of your website?
Yeah, janmorganmedia.com is my website. And the
spell
documentary
that?
is called...
JanMorgan.
Yes, janmorganmedia.com. The documentary is called Rampant Injustice, with a capital I and a capital N, Injustice. And what has happened, these citizens around the country and business owners have joined together because they're tired of this kind of injustice and bullying at the federal level. They're, number one, joining forces and funding documentaries and this sort of thing to expose these injustices, number one. And number two, they are pushing for the states of this country to reclaim states' rights to defend the citizens against the abusive powers of the federal government, which has expanded. And the CEO of Gibson Guitar, which I interviewed a few days ago in Nashville, Tennessee, he is personally taking this on and fighting this at a legislative level. They're calling for a House investigation on these tactics that are being used by citizens. We produced a reenactment of these kinds of tactics. I think it's going to be shocking to the American people who have not been exposed to it yet. And we're calling for some answers from the Justice Department. And yes,
I can't find your site, so if you can tell me how to get there.
Okay, janmorganmedia.com. And or you can also, if you look on Armstrong Williams' Facebook page, about the third post down, I posted the promo for that documentary, the video promo, and it's 6 minutes long, and you can check it out. And it pretty much is giving folks an idea of what they can expect in this documentary tonight. But I know in my heart that you're going to see and hear a lot more about this documentary in the weeks ahead. Maybe not too much before the election. It may not have enough impact to reach people before the election, but I'm telling you there are enough citizens behind this Rampant Injustice organization that people are fighting back. And, you know, for example...
Okay, everybody, I got it. It's JAN, then Morgan, MORGAN, and then media.com. Beautiful site.
Thank you. And the documentary is called Rampant Injustice. It should be the second or third if you look at the little the video screen, and it's flashing different stories that I've done. But the Rampant Injustice is the documentary. That's just the promo video. The full 20-minute documentary is being released today at 5 o'clock Central Time, and that's the one you want to see. You will be shocked at the way citizens of this country have been bullied and treated basically like terrorists, innocent people who aren't even accused of crimes, innocent people who are sitting in their businesses, and the Justice Department and Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS they come in barreling into these businesses, 50 agents where a business only employs 12 people, and they're all armed, pulling a gun on one of the business owners, a loaded gun, pointing it at his head. And this is a man who's been accused of structuring a white-collar crime. And that's happening repeatedly around the country. So what we documented here is that this is not just a few rogue agents that are out of control. We all know that there are bad apples in every business and every agency. But we have established with this documentary that this is a method of operation. It is standard practice for the Justice Department and the Internal Revenue Service Criminal Investigation Division, and it's got to be stopped.
Jen, Rick, both, thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure. Just stay there. We'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you both. Callers, just stay there. We're coming back. Don't go away.
For more information on the Armstrong-Williams Show, please visit our new website at www.rightsidewire.com. There you can find his syndicated column archive, view live streams, and get your favorite conservative pundits' views on the current issues affecting the American people. From building wealth to foreign policy, stay connected with Armstrong-Williams and his colleagues at the all-new www.rightsidewire.com.
America must change course if we hope to survive and save the American dream for our children and grandchildren. How do we fix Social Security and Medicare? How do we cut government spending? How do we reform health care? How do we simplify the tax code? The Heritage Foundation has a bold plan that tackles these tough problems using common sense solutions that leave partisan politics on the sidelines. Find out how we can save the American dream at savingthedream.org. Paid for by the Heritage Foundation.
Hi, this is Armstrong Williams with an opportunity to own a piece of paradise in Nassau, Bahamas. Spectacular land prices. 8,000 square feet, 20,000 square feet lot. Affordable prices. Hilltop properties with views of the magnificent sea. Just call 242-677-3120 or 3121 or go to info@rightsidewire.com and leave your information.
Does your school, team, church, or charity need a new fundraiser? Do you need to work out of your home or part-time? Are you a small business that can use an additional revenue stream? Then you need Yellow Llama. Do you need affordable web services or tools to enhance your existing business? Are you a graphic artist who wants to create a revenue stream with your art but not get ripped off? Then go to www.yellowllama.com.
Join the millions of Americans who pursue one of our country's finest traditions, from hunting to sport shooting. Since 1871, the NRA has grown as a service organization involved in all aspects of shooting sports and is a proud defender of the Bill of Rights. Join today to begin taking advantage of exclusive membership offers and discounts, including up to $25,000 in insurance coverage. Contact the NRA today. Call 1-800-672-3888 or visit nra.org.
Where heads of state, sports, entertainment, and political celebrities meet. You're listening to Armstrong Williams.
Oh, welcome back. Now, you know I have one of my favorite conservatives on the line, one of my favorite conservatives. Callers, just be patient. I got to introduce you to one of my favorite conservatives, one of the most prolific voices on radio, one of the biggest names in radio. Yes, y'all, Russ Parr's in the house. Hello, Mr. Conservative.
Yes, I am. That's what I am today. But if I'm like Mitt Romney, I'll probably be, I'll be a Democrat tomorrow. How about that?
Is this election over, Parr?
Yes, it is. How are you?
It's just fine. I wanted to hear you say that the election is over.
Oh, yeah, it's over.
Tell us
over.
what.
And like I said in the very beginning, it's not going to really even be close.
You think the storm saved the president?
No, actually I don't. I think it's over before. There's just so many signs, and no matter how the Republicans want to spin it, to basically put out an ad knowing that it's false, knowing in this day and age with the media that it's going to be eviscerated, that there's something wrong. They must have some internal numbers that say, listen, desperation time, let's go. And maybe because to me, Armstrong, and one thing that you and I have agreed on, which to the detriment of the president, that the president is naive. You told me that one time, about a year or two ago. So the president's naive, and it's killing him. And I think that's what has killed him. He expects fact from people. He doesn't understand. Even though he is a good communicator and a good campaigner, he doesn't understand that it's cutthroat, man. And people are going to say and do what they got to do in order to get elected, and that's exactly what this man has done. I mean, you're against FEMA, and today, now you're for it. Of course I'm for FEMA. This guy doesn't realize there's videotape of him saying just the opposite. You're for seeing personal taxes, won't reveal any. Swiss accounts, not a problem. For now, either against for abortion. Chrysler, listen, they're moving all their jobs over to China. Well, no, that's not what we're really saying. Read that over again. See, they're counting on the ignorance of the voter. They're attacking the low information voter, and you gotta love. I told you before, I love Chris Christie because cats from New Jersey are going to keep it real no matter what. And he's being criticized because he's hugging the president, but you know what? That tells you he's legitimately passionate about his constituents. Has nothing to do with political lines. And that's who you want in office. That guy's probably going to be the president in 2016. You watch.
Who's going to be the president in 2012?
Oh, it's going to be the president.
Which one?
It's going to. Well, you only have one president right now. You're president.
Now you
voted for in 2008.
Yes, I did. And you voted for
you and Colin Powell. But you know what? The reason why you did it is because he's black. Oops.
I plead the fifth.
Well, I mean, isn't that why Colin Powell did it? Colin Powell's reasons weren't valid. He's black, and like Sununu said, you're proud to see a black man. But this president is naive. Is he
a black man?
Of the House,
is the president a black man?
I'm going to work with Republicans. As soon as the Republicans took control, it's like, oh, we're going to bend you over. It's sad.
Look. So there's no chance that Obama can lose on next week.
Even before the storm, I didn't feel he was going to lose. He's got these small leads in all these states that he really shouldn't even be close in. He shouldn't be close in Florida. He shouldn't be close in Virginia. It's crazy, Army. I mean, I look at Mitt and it's scary because I look at a Manchurian candidate. He's going to owe a lot of people.
So
to say anything to get elected. It's almost he's telling like his base, hey guys, I'm going to say all this stuff right now, but when I get in, I'm going to make sure I take care of you.
So it's safe to say that you've decided not to vote for Mitt Romney now.
Yeah, I decided not to do that. I just couldn't get by. Here this guy's on videotape saying, no more teachers. Let's get rid of teachers and unions. And then he's in the debate going, I love teachers. I think the philosophy of some of the Republicans is, look, the cops in the Rodney King beating got vindicated because, there was actually video footage of, those cops doing it, but, they were found innocent. They figured that's the mentality. I can come bombard you with falsehoods and non-facts, and that's how bad they don't want this man to continue office. And I think he's done a good job based on what he's presented with. But none of you Republicans will admit the fact that Congress refused to work with him. They a record number of filibusters. They have never had any intentions on seeing him succeed. They've had memos. They've had meetings. Hey, it's the response to this. It's just like yesterday when Romney was asked about FEMA, he would not answer. Today they got together and he got his talking points from the Koch brothers, and he said, okay, I'm for FEMA. How people, it's amazing to me that women would even consider voting for this guy.
You know what? Here's what. I just wish that I could get a little levity, a little balance with you. So I guess.
Oh, I'm getting ready to have fun.
Okay, so I guess the president is just a perfect candidate. There's just no flaws, no lies, no deceit. Everything is just perfect. Every problem he's had is because of somebody else.
Well, yeah, pretty much has been that way, unfortunately. But here's the beautiful thing. The president really, really doesn't totally throw his friend George W. Bush under the bus. I think the Republican Party abandoned that man, even when they supported him during his presidency. It's kind of embarrassing. But I do have something bad on Obama just to make you feel equal time.
We're listening.
There's a rumor going around that President Obama legitimately fathered 2 black children.
Yes, I heard that rumor. And Michelle had to be...
And you know what?
Yes, tell us.
I heard some Republicans in West Virginia talking about he is so uppity. How dare him do that?
Oh, just an uppity brother. Uppity brother. Let me sneak in a phone call here. Hello, Miss Paulette. You're on with Russ Parr in the morning. Did I lose Miss Paulette? She just got tired
of me.
No, look, Russ Parr. What can Romney do to win this election between now and Election Day?
I think he's already been tagged as someone that's incapable of being straight up and honest. You know, what you want is what you saw Christie do the other day. Not the fact that he embraced the president, but the fact that he was passionate enough about his constituents and didn't care what the political ramifications are going to be. I think Romney is past that. There's no way that he can do that now. Even to the person that just woke up yesterday and never watched the news, just take one of 20 statements that this man has made, because Romney's been set up all along the way. They only hit him on something. They got video of him refuting. They hit him up on stuff that there's video evidence of him saying the opposite, and they've been going with it each and every time. We forget about all these things that this man refuses to do. With the taxes, we know that he's got lots of companies that have invested in China. I mean, he knows it. He doesn't want to reveal that. You go to a campaign event / fundraiser, and you collect cans for the Red Cross. Who in his camp doesn't realize the Red Cross takes donations in blood, cash donations? Who told them to collect cans? It's just they're out of touch.
Let me raise this with you because I'm just giving a free public service announcement for the re-election of President Barack Obama here today. That's all.
I'm sorry, they get the opposite from you every day, so why not have somebody that has a sound mind?
So let me just say this to you.
You're crazy.
Is it possible that you are biased and blinded also, that you're drinking the Kool-Aid?
Well, I am biased but don't get me wrong. I have voted for Republicans that share my views. I don't go straight ticket when I go to vote. I go and I research who believes what. But I've been so totally offended by Romney and the suggestion that I would buy this, and that a lot of Americans will, and it's sad, 47% of Americans will buy his crap.
Who are the winners if President Obama is reelected?
What's the question?
Who are the winners if President Obama is reelected?
Well, I think that we have somebody with a plan that's starting to work. It may not have worked as quick as you wanted it to work, but no one wanted to take credit over the fact that what was handed to him, the mess that was handed to him. I think that with the Obamacare, I've got people calling me up on my radio show telling me how small businesses are being hurt by Obamacare, and I'm like, oh, you've been watching Fox News. I'm sorry. Don't sit up and tell me that small businesses are being hurt by Obamacare when Obamacare has not been fully implemented. They're lying to you, and you believe that, and you come on the air and try to hit me with that, expect me to be low information? I'm sorry, I'm not the one. Obamacare, here's the bottom line. I have a small business. I'm sure you do too. In a lot of cases, a lot of small businesses do not hire people and pay their health care. That's just been around way before Obama even existed. Because, you want to avoid that. You hire people part-time, the whole nine. That's just the way it is. Companies for years before even Obama existed have tried to hire people and not pay for their health care, hire them part-time, just enough hours so they don't have to pay for your health care. That's just been the way the business has been. But, you're complaining about stuff that hasn't been implemented. You don't want to give it a try because it wasn't your idea. Crazy.
Let me just say this to our listeners. We believe in equal time and fair time, and you all have been complaining that my show is biased. I don't give the other side a chance.
Well, they say that about me, too, though.
So I want you to know, Russ Parr has a full infomercial today where he's advocating the president. I just wish... Just stay there, Russ, because I got to have some fun with you when we come back. The phone lines are open. Russ Parr's in the house, 1-866-620-6620, 803-733-5620, info@RightSideWire.com. We'll be back.
All right.
For more information on the Armstrong-Williams Show, please visit our new website at www.rightsidewire.com. There you can find his syndicated column archive, view live streams, and get your favorite conservative pundits' views on the current issues affecting the American people. From building wealth to foreign policy, stay connected with Armstrong-Williams and his colleagues at the all-new www.rightsidewire.com.
Anderson Brothers Bank, a family-owned and operated establishment that blends traditional personal service, local market awareness, and advanced technology to meet the financial needs of its customers. Visit abbank.com or call 843-464-6271 to see how they can assist you with your banking needs. Anderson Brothers Bank, celebrating 75 years of community banking, the way it should be. Stability right in your backyard since 1933.
High Point University has experienced unprecedented growth during the worst economic disruption in decades. This growth is driven by a university that focuses on holistic education, on experiential learning, and on values-based living. At High Point University, every student receives an extraordinary education in an inspiring environment with caring people. See what makes High Point University extraordinary at highpoint.edu.
Whether it's their impact on prison guards, law enforcement officials, business executives, employees, or marriage and relationships, Lorette is dedicated to changing the individual and institutions around the globe. Lorette's diverse network and training courses can help provide you with the tools you need to both wisely and confidently lead, manage, and supervise yourself as well as others. Lorette Business Network, a proven system for achieving success in your business and life. Please visit their website and begin this life-lasting journey with Lorette today. www.lorette.org.
To travelers along the road of life who have fallen asleep at the wheel, to the many who woke up in time to avert disaster and get back on the righteous path. For the ones who crashed and survived and now adhere vigilantly to a virtuous and righteous path. Finally, Armstrong-Williams' much-anticipated new book, Reawakening Virtues, gives his insights into these daily challenges and much more. Reawakening Virtues is available in bookstores and at Amazon.com.
Where heads of state, sports, entertainment, and political celebrities meet. You're listening to Armstrong-Williams.
Ask a liberal. Ask a liberal. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been asking, ask a liberal. We got a liberal on the line today. I love tossing the table back to Russ Parr. But before we go back to R. Parr in the morning, Miss Paulette, how are you doing?
For asking. I do like your guests. And I, too, don't always vote straight party. I vote my interest. But even in that, I believe if we sit here and think Romney cares anything about us, especially when he's talking about going to states' rights, okay, then the Ku Klux Klan really going to come out with their hoods on because they're too scared to come and show their faces. They're too scared to show their faces because they feel like somebody going to know where they live, find where they live, and burn their houses down just like they burned our houses down. And when it comes down to state rights, okay, we're going to be in a state that's stop and frisk. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have my gun loaded. I'm a Christian, but I'm going to heaven with my gun, okay? I ain't telling no lie. Might as well tell the truth and say the devil. Because I'm going to tell you, they're going to force me to carry a gun, and I hate guns. But I tell you what, if I feel like my life is going to be threatened because somebody talking about stop and frisk, okay, I don't even have a driver's ticket, and I've been driving for over 35 years. And I declare, if I get a ticket after Romney get in office, it's on. It's going to be a showdown at the OK Corral.
Well, I don't know if I'm on, but if I could respond to you, I think, as Americans, I was reluctant in trying to support Bush when he was reelected, as much as I thought that he had no control over his presidency until the last 6 months, which is sad, because I think he just got totally dominated by Cheney. But I think the big thing right now is voters need to be upset with all the tactics and all the lies and counting on you not to Google. I implore all of you, you don't have to be a political science major to hit Google and just ask, what did this person say 2 minutes ago? This is getting, I think the scary thing is seeing that the polls say it is so close, but trust me, it's not as close as the polls say they are.
Well,
you're basically talking to likely voters. Likely voters are not registered. A lot of them are not even registered to vote. Likely voters are going to have no say. It's going to have everything to do with everybody going to the polls and making the choice that you think is in your best interest. I know there's a lot of people that are not. They don't care the fact that, Romney's going to get rid of appeal Obamacare and pre-existing conditions will go away. And it doesn't matter. I just got to get this black guy out of here. I mean, it's just a darn shame that this country's being run by
This has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to do with race. I mean, you're better than that, man. You're better than that. Come on, please. And I mean, you sit here and you talk about Romney's flip-flops. You don't even talk about the president. But you know what? Today, I'm not even challenged. I'm going to let you all just talk and have fun. Because you know what? I'm just going to let you have the floor. I mean, I want you to feel good.
The president flip-flopping.
I'm strong. Listen to this part now. Okay,
no.
You may think that we're naive, but we're not. But the thing
no,
about
you're
it,
biased.
when
You can't even. You're biased.
That they're not. The thing about it, when the Congress decide that their agenda is to make him a first-term president, that's telling you right then they did not want him there, and then the person that stated because President Obama is black, the reason why Colin Powell decided Colin Powell.
That is why he's voting for him. That is why he supported him.
He's an intelligent man.
That is why.
But
let me just say this. When Colin Powell endorsed the president, I didn't hear him once say that the reason why I'm voting for him because he's black. Colin Powell
what the other man said. That's what that other crack-brained man said.
I just want to.
That's a bald-faced lie. President Obama is not just black. He is white, but in America,
and for all the white people that don't like the black side of the president, vote for the white side.
Let me just say this.
That's
all
right.
I want to do is get a word in edgewise here. I just want to add a little.
Not your show right now.
I want to enjoy.
You said ask a liberal. You're far from liberal.
I want to add a little leverage. I find it interesting that President Obama's reelection campaign and Mitt Romney and Ms. Paulette continue to accuse Mitt Romney of being a flip-flopper. That changes his positions all the time. In actuality, let me just say this to you. It is the president himself who has been a history of doing just that. I mean, even the way...
Give me an example. Don't just throw it out there so your low information voters listening to you will believe you.
Okay. Taxes.
You better go to page 17.
No, I don't have to go to any pages. I got a brain that works very well. You don't want me to answer. That's why you keep interrupting me. I didn't interrupt you.
Because you have nothing.
Okay, let me answer. Let me answer. Can I answer?
On it, you walk them back and say, I never said that.
Can I answer?
I never said that.
Can I answer?
Go ahead. Put your mouth on your foot.
On taxes and spending, Obama opposed raising the debt ceiling and said adding $4 trillion in it was unpatriotic. That's what he said. And as president, he insisted the debt ceiling be raised and has added substantially more than $4 trillion to the debt.
Did he deny that he was going to do that
No,
after
we're talking about
flip-flops.
We're only talking about flip-flops.
What he denied, it was going to be turned down anyway.
We're talking about flip-flops. On the Bush tax cuts. No, on the Bush tax cuts. When Obama said that as president, he would repeal the Bush tax cuts for the rich In 2010, what did he do? He extended the tax
went for
cuts.
it because he didn't have the necessary votes.
Let me just finish. We're talking about flip-flops. Well, give Romney the same benefit of the doubt.
Done everything at every corner, Armstrong, to
let me keep
block
going.
him
Let me
and
keep
his
going.
policies.
We're talking about flip-flops. Since you can talk about Romney,
That's not
let
a
me
flip-flop.
talk. Oh, yes, it is.
That was a policy decision.
That's
that
how
he
you
didn't have a whole lot
define.
to do.
That's how you define Romney's flip-flops. Oh, come on.
Army, he's made a lot of promises that the Republicans would not allow him to keep because they knew this is the Obama promise list.
Now, let me talk about people like. Let me talk.
We can block these off.
You don't want to hear this stuff. So
hold on, let me get a. Can I get another olive and
okay.
here, please?
One last point, because you don't want to hear. You don't want to hear the truth. You don't want to hear the truth. One last point, and I'm going to shut up because I find this to be so hilarious. Raising taxes, like the big one. Raising taxes. Obama pledged that no family, like Russ Parr and others, making less than $250,000 a year will see any form of tax increases. This is what he said. Not your income tax, not your payroll tax, not your capital gains taxes, not any of your taxes. And he said none of his opponents can make that pledge. Guess what? He has raised taxes on tanning, cigarettes, and those who do not purchase health insurance regardless of their income. Flip-flop.
Are we talking about income tax or retail tax?
Flip-flop. No.
What are you talking about here? Don't age, Army. I'm not going to let you get away with that. I'm not going to let you get away with it.
This is hilarious. Flip-flop. Flip-flop. This is funny.
You are slippery. Back up the truck here, man. You're talking about retail taxes. You're not talking about all the tax loopholes that you and I get.
He is a bigger flip-flopper than Mitt Romney.
This is what he's talking about. The Bush tax cuts, man, that was something that, okay, I'm going to play ball with the Republicans and they're going to like me. Wrong, naive.
Okay.
I'm telling you, they walked him out there and treated him like Toby. Now, here's the thing. Here, in this second term, here's what's going to happen. In this second term, he's going to say, you can't fire me, and I'm going to veto the hell out of you people.
Flip-flop.
You watch. Everything is getting ready to
defend
change.
his flip-flops,
He's going to have
Russ.
the power that he didn't have in his first term. And you guys are scared because his policies
I'm not
are working.
afraid. You know I'm not afraid at all.
The last thing you want him to do is go down as a great president.
Let me go back to the phone lines. Michael, you have a comment. Go ahead. Hello, Michael.
How you doing, Mr. Armstrong?
Oh, fantastic.
I just, my name is not Michael, but I just wanted to put it out there because I'm a black woman and I'm a Republican. But I will say that I am very disappointed in Mr. Romney because I don't really think he represents our religion very well. He does seem to say anything to get elected, and I think this is just my opinion. I really believe that he only wants to be elected because his father failed to do so, but I just don't like the way he's really representing our religion right now. If I came from another country and I decided that I wanted to be a Mormon and I was looking at him as an example, I would not become a Mormon. And that's the end of my comment.
Thank you, Michael. Let's go to Fruster. Fruster? What a name.
Hattie Fruster.
Hello, Miss Fruster. How you doing?
I'm blessed. How you get along?
Oh, the Lord's blessing me right now.
I agree with the guy on the phone 100%.
Armstrong Williams, thank you. I'm on the phone.
Not Armstrong Williams, the other guy.
Yeah, there you go. Get it right. Not agreeing with you.
I'm on the phone.
When Bush, I don't hear you say one word about President Bush. Bush was there for 8 years. Please tell me, what did he do? When Bush got in office, they left billions of dollars there.
Ask Nelson Mandela in South Africa and the $40 billion for AIDS. Ask Nelson Mandela.
I'll tell you what Bush did. What Bush did is he lied about 2 wars, and over 4,000 Americans lost their lives over some crap.
And that is murder. When you tell a lie to go to war, and all
absolutely.
These people
be careful, Libya's looming. Be careful. Be careful.
On a lie, and when a person tell a lie like that,
be careful.
Murder.
Be careful.
We don't want to go through that again.
Be careful.
When Bush was president, you did not ridicule him.
I did. So that wouldn't be true. I ridiculed him as much as I could.
All I want to say
the same things about Bush that you saying about Obama. You wouldn't be on the air today. Don't let those people make no fool out of you because you.
Where do you think I live? I'm free. I say whatever I want to say.
You up, they gonna
when are you free?
I'm free.
They're gonna kick you to the
You a member of the Republican Party. There's nothing free about you.
Boy, I want to
saw you trying to cross over the Maryland border.
Let me tell you this.
I'm going north, Russ.
I don't know.
I'm going north. That's the promised land.
I don't know the last time I've had so much fun with somebody biased people. Russ Parr, you don't try to hide it, though. That's the good thing. You don't try to. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
still on the air.
What I'm saying is, if he had criticized Bush and stuff like that, he wouldn't be on the air right now.
Well, we passed Bush. You got more than enough stuff on Romney, and it's a darn shame. And we as Americans should be embarrassed that this candidate is even close. It's
Bring it
scary
on.
and irresponsible.
Bring it on. November 6th. Bring it on. Bring it on. Showdown.
I'll be there marking on the president's box just like you will.
Thank you, Parr.
Later.
High Point University has experienced unprecedented growth during the worst economic disruption in decades. This growth is driven by a university that focuses on holistic education, on experiential learning, and on values-based living. At High Point University, every student receives an extraordinary education in an inspiring environment with caring people. See what makes High Point University extraordinary at highpoint.edu.
Join the millions of Americans who pursue one of our country's finest traditions, from hunting to sport shooting. Since 1871, the NRA has grown as a service organization involved in all aspects of shooting sports and is a proud defender of the Bill of Rights. Join today to begin taking advantage of exclusive membership offers and discounts, including up to $25,000 in insurance coverage. Contact the NRA today. Call 1-800-672-3888 or visit nra.org. Anderson Brothers Bank, a family-owned and operated establishment that blends traditional personal service, local market awareness, and advanced technology to meet the financial needs of its customers. Visit abbank.com or call 843-464-6271 to see how they can assist you with your banking needs. Anderson Brothers Bank, celebrating 75 years of community banking, the way it should be. Stability right in your backyard since 1933.
Life is full of unexpected changes. Everyone has potential to do wrong. And when they choose to do it, contact the Bucksell Group for your private investigation needs. TheBucksellGroup.com or by phone at 202-243-9746. Whether there's an instance of a cheating spouse, child custody, process service, or security, don't continue suspecting. Get closure so that you can move on with your life. Visit TheBucksellGroup.com now or call 202-243-9746. If you think it's happening, it probably is.
America must change course if we hope to survive and save the American dream for our children and grandchildren. How do we fix Social Security and Medicare? How do we cut government spending? How do we reform health care? How do we simplify the tax code? The Heritage Foundation has a bold plan that tackles these tough problems using common sense solutions that leave partisan politics on the sidelines. Find out how we can save the American dream at savingthedream.org, paid for by the Heritage Foundation.
Does your school, team, church, or charity need a new fundraiser? Do you need to work out of your home or part-time? Are you a small business that can use an additional revenue stream? Then you need Yellow Llama. Do you need affordable web services or tools to enhance your existing business? Are you a graphic artist who wants to create a revenue stream with your art but not get ripped off? Then go to www.yellowllama.com.
Home of the sweet potato pie. Even the keenest taste buds will tell you the best food on the planet. Large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. So get the Henrys at 5431 Indian Head Highway, Oxon Hill, Maryland, or give us a call at 301-749-6856.